Dating in your 30s can be extremely difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Many guys will spend hours on dating apps, swiping, feeling like they're completely ignored because they're not getting any matches, and they'll blame the algorithm. I learned this the hard way as well. I was 35 when I got divorced. I felt the exact same way. I was curious why I was never getting any matches. I felt like I was good looking, sort of. I figured I'd get at least some matches, but I wasn't taking the right actions. So in this video, I'm gonna go over how dating is different in your 30s and some ways that I would do if I was looking to get dates again in my 30s, how I would get started. So obviously we know that dating in your 30s, if you don't know this, newsflash, when you're in your 30s, you are held to a higher standard than men in their 20s. A guy in his 20s, it's acceptable for him to go out to the bars every weekend. It's acceptable for him to not have a lot of responsibility. He can get by on his charisma and his spontaneity and his looks. Many times, these guys have big social circles where they end up meeting their girlfriends, so they don't necessarily have to put themselves out there that much. But a man in his 30s, you're expected to be responsible, you're expected to be on your purpose, you're expected to be a man, you're expected to know how to lead, and you're expected to put your best personality traits forward. On dating apps specifically, you should be having a profile that makes you stand out and makes you look like a high-value guy that she wants to meet. And if you're not doing that, you're just gonna get swiped past. Most girls will swipe on about 4% of profiles, and they're looking for a reason to swipe left. So if you're presenting yourself very basic, I guess I'll say basic, you have your mirror selfie or your car selfie or pictures of just your dog or pictures of just food where you're not even in the picture, you're not putting your best self forward, and you're gonna get passed by because you're 30 years old. You should have some photos with you with some friends. You should have like a pretty interesting life that the girl wants to be a part of. And if you don't, you're competing with guys who have put themselves together. Men in their 30s who are very successful on dating apps have good profiles that they've put together, and it shows their best traits. So I'll link in the description a free online dating course, which will go over everything you need to set up a good profile, how to get better pictures, messaging templates so that you don't really have to think about what to say. Many cases, guys are just sending very boring conversations to girls. Hey, how are you? How was your weekend? So you don't even have to do that much to stand out, to be honest with you. So I'll link that in the description. It's free, like I said, and it should have everything you need. But if I was dating in my 30s, the first things I would do would be, one, to redefine your identity. For me, I was very shy, very quiet, not a man. I didn't know how to lead. If problems came up, I would just kind of ignore them or shut down. Didn't really stand up for myself, didn't have any boundaries. I was overweight. So the first thing you want to do is you want to redefine who you are as a person. Set some goals, figure out the kind of man that you want to be, because once you know the kind of man that you want to be, you can start defining the kind of girls that you want. Are the kind of girls that you want going to be attracted to the kind of man that you are right now? If you think, this really helped me out, because I always kind of thought I was entitled to more attractive girls. I always thought, yeah, I'm a nice guy. I could give them the world. They would be lucky to be with me. But then when I envisioned the kind of girls that I wanted, and I thought about the kind of guys they would date, if they would have dated me at that time, I would have been furious. I'd be like, why would you date a loser like that? Why would you want a guy that is just playing video games all day, who has no purpose, has no drive? So it's once I realized that the kind of girls I wanted would never date the guy that I was, it made it easier for me to start making changes. I knew that it was possible to become a better version of myself. I just had to put in the work. I could start to see it now. There's steps I could take to learn social skills, to lose weight, to become more attractive, to dress better, to become a guy that these girls wanted to date. So first thing you want to do is define the kind of man you want to be. Do you want to be the guy who works out? Do you want to be a guy that women are attracted to? You got to figure out what steps you can take to do that. And just by doing that, you'll start to encounter these girls and they'll be drawn to you. You attract what you think about. So step one, redefine the kind of man you want to be. Take actions towards that. Sounds easier than it is, but the first step is to just realize where you want to go. The second thing I would do is change the way you meet women. If you're on dating apps now and you're not getting results, ask yourself why. Do you think you have the best pictures? Do you think there's things you could do to get better pictures? If you're getting a lot of matches but not getting on dates, is there something you can do with your messaging? Is there ways that you could meet girls outside of online dating? For me, I used to meet girls only through dating apps when I first started after my divorce. I would go out to try to practice some social skills, but I didn't know what I was doing, and it took me a long time. So if I was just starting out on dating again in my 30s, the first thing I would do is figure out dating apps, because it's much more time efficient than going to the bars and clubs. If you go to the bar, say you go to the bar Friday, Saturday for 4 hours, and you can talk to 3 girls, that's obviously great. You're practicing your social skills, and I would continue to do that. But if you're doing online dating and you take the time to get good pictures and send quality messages, you could interact with, 50 girls in the week. And then you can go out and practice your dates, and you can build up your social skills that way. You'll feel more comfortable around women, and it's just a great start. Once I've got the online profile going, I would then focus on approaching girls during the day. So what I do personally now is I still have the online dating profiles. I message girls, I practice my messaging. I can set up dates 2 to 3 times a week. But then I also go out and I approach at least one girl a day, wherever I'm at, supermarket, wherever. And they don't have to be perfect approaches. Most of the time mine are just going up and saying, hey, I thought you looked nice. I noticed this about you. And then you can tell them that they look cute and try to just talk to them. But just doing that will build up your social skills. You'll feel proud of yourself for doing something that was kind of difficult. And if you just keep this up consistently, you're going to find girls that are interested in meeting you, because you took the initiative to go talk to them at the store. Most guys don't have the balls to do that, especially in their 30s. Most guys in their 30s are kind of below average. They don't try. I would say a majority of guys don't. I've looked at hundreds of guys' profiles online, and most of them do not stand out. Most of them are very low effort. So it does not take a lot of work to stand out. And approaching girls throughout the day is just an easy way to do it. It doesn't take a lot of time. And if you're serious about wanting to improve your dating life, that's what I would do. So first step, get the online dating profile going. You can talk to many more girls in a more time efficient way. You can be home texting. You don't have to go out all the time. Then I would do at least one approach a day. And If you're out on the weekends, that's always a great idea too. Just make sure you're not going out just getting wasted to do that, because when you're in your 30s, you're expected to be able to socialize without having to be drunk. I mean, it's okay if you want to go have a couple drinks or go on a date with a girl with some drinks, but you don't want to be the guy that's 40 years old, getting wasted, and then looking like a clown. So try to limit that. And then the third thing I would do if I'm in my 30s is you need to work on what I call emotional game. You need to work on making the girl feel special when you're on dates. It's great that, you know, you get online, you start matching, you start messaging, it starts to become easy to get girls on dates. But if you're not learning to trigger their emotions, to make them feel good while they're on the date, you're gonna get a lot of the, hey, it was nice to meet you. And it doesn't really, I got that so many times where I'm just, oh yeah, it was a great date. You're a very nice guy, but I just don't see anything romantic in you. It wasn't until I learned how to make a girl feel special, you know? Not even special, just gave her a good time, teasing, playful, not asking just boring job interview questions, really digging down into who she was as a person, listening, sharing things about me that I don't tell anybody, because that's how you connect with people. It's not a surface level thing. The dates that you go on as well, make sure you're not taking girls on like just a walk. That's not a very good first date, because it doesn't show much effort. It doesn't show that you can lead and can plan a date. What else? Yeah. So yeah, with the emotional game, you just want to be a man that they can trust, that you show that you can lead a date, and that you can listen and be more playful. I'll go over how to have a successful date in a later video. This one was more just on steps I would take if I was looking to find a girlfriend in my 30s. So the first thing I would do, identify the kind of girls that you want. Ask yourself, would those girls want to date the current version of me? If the answer is no, then you got to figure out ways that you can improve yourself to get those quality girls. If the answer is yes, those are girls that would want to date me, then you need to ask yourself, why aren't they dating me yet? Is your online dating profile not up to par? Is your messaging not good? Are you not displaying your attractive qualities in person? So figure that out. Next thing I would do is, like I said, I would figure out, or the next thing I would do is get online, start matching with girls, get yourself a lot of experience with messaging and getting on dates. And then the third thing is learn to have more successful dates. Yeah, I'll link, like I said, I'll link the description of the free online dating course that'll go over all this stuff for you. You don't have to think about it. It's something that I wish I would have had when I first got back in the dating scene when I was 35. I spent years just guessing, hoping I was figuring something out. Wasted a lot of time. Could have had more dates, could have met more interesting people. Who knows what could have happened. I'm happy with my dating life now. I've met a lot of great girls, and I'm happy with where I'm at with my dating life, but who knows what could have happened. It would have saved me a lot of time, a lot of headache, and yeah, I would have just felt like I knew what I was doing faster, I guess. But that's it for this video. I'll put the video link of where I've been, what my dating life has been like so far in my 30s, and I'll stop rambling for now. We'll see you next time.